Hey everyone, welcome back to Tap and Trends. Today we're diving into something a lot of people struggle with every single year, buying a new iPhone. Now, I know the hype is real. Apple launches are everywhere, and it's easy to get caught up in the excitement. But before you drop that big cash on the latest iPhone, there are some things you absolutely need to know. So, whether you're rocking an iPhone 11 that's barely hanging on, or you're considering upgrading from last year's Pro model, stick around because I'm going to break this down for you, no tech jargon overload, just the real stuff you need to think about. 1. Price versus value. Let's be honest, iPhones are not cheap. The latest models start at a price that could literally buy you a decent laptop. But here's the big question, are you paying for innovation, or just brand loyalty? For example, the iPhone 15 Pro Max introduced titanium design and a new periscope zoom camera. Cool, right? But if you're using an iPhone 13 Pro, your day-to-day experience, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, won't feel that different. Here's the thing, sometimes skipping 1 or 2 generations before upgrading actually gives you better value. Think about it, if you're upgrading every year, you're paying premium money for minor changes. But if you wait 3 years, the leap feels massive. So ask yourself, do I really need this iPhone right now, or can I squeeze another year out of my current one? 2. Storage and iCloud trap, another big one, storage. iPhones start at 128 gigabytes, which sounds fine until you realize how fast 4K videos and high-res photos eat up space. Suddenly, you're staring at that dreaded storage almost full message. Now, Apple loves to nudge you toward iCloud subscriptions. And while iCloud is convenient, it's an extra monthly cost most people forget to factor in. Imagine spending over $1,000 on a phone only to realize you still need to pay another 99 cents to $9.99 a month just to keep your photos backed up. So before buying, think carefully, do you need 128 gigabytes, 256 gigabytes, or even 1 terabyte? And if you're someone who loves recording long videos, don't just grab the base model, you'll regret it later. Quick question for you guys, how much storage do you currently have on your iPhone, and do you actually use all of it? Drop your answer in the comments, I'm curious to see who's living dangerously on 64 gigabytes and who's rocking a full terabyte. 3. Camera reality check. Okay, let's talk cameras, because this is usually the biggest selling point Apple pushes. Don't get me wrong, the cameras are incredible. Night mode, cinematic mode, and now Pro RAW photos. These are things content creators love. But here's the catch, unless you're a YouTuber, a photographer, or someone who really needs those pro tools, you're probably not going to use half of those features. Real-world example, my friend upgraded to the 15 Pro Max just for the new telephoto zoom. Guess what? 3 months later, he admitted he barely uses it. Most of his pictures are just food, pets, and selfies, stuff the older models handle perfectly fine. So here's the thought, are you buying the new iPhone for your actual lifestyle, or just for features you'll barely touch? For battery life, the hidden reality, now let's be real, Apple hypes battery life every year. You'll hear phrases like the longest battery ever in an iPhone. But in real-world use? It depends. If you're a light user, emails, messaging, some YouTube, the battery might feel like it lasts forever. But if you're shooting videos, gaming, or using 5G constantly, that percentage drops faster than you think. And here's a little-known fact, batteries degrade. After about a year, your iPhone might only hold around 90% of its original capacity. By the second year, you'll notice it. So when you're thinking about which iPhone to buy, remember, it's not just about day one performance. Ask yourself, how will this phone hold up after 2 years? Here's a scenario, imagine you buy the base model today and by year 2, you need a battery replacement. That's an extra cost of around $100. Suddenly, the expensive iPhone becomes even more expensive. So tell me in the comments, would you rather buy the newest iPhone every year and avoid battery wear, or keep one phone for 3 to 4 years and replace the battery when needed? I want to hear your take. 5. Software support, Apple's big advantage, here's where iPhones really shine, software updates. Apple supports iPhones for about 5 to 6 years, sometimes longer. That means if you buy an iPhone 15 today, you'll probably still get updates in 2030. Compare that to many Android phones, where updates often stop after 3 to 4 years. But let's flip it, yes, the phone gets updates, but will it still run smoothly after 5 years? Maybe, maybe not. Anyone who has tried using an old iPhone 7 in 2025 knows what I'm talking about. It runs, but it's not exactly snappy. So the question becomes, are you planning to keep your iPhone for the long haul, or are you the type who upgrades every 2 to 3 years? If you're a long-term user, the software support is gold. If not, you might not even fully benefit from it. 6. Durability and repairs. Apple loves to market things like ceramic shield glass and titanium frames. They're durable, yes, but not indestructible. Drop an iPhone without a case, and you'll still feel your heart skip a beat. And repairs? They don't come cheap. A cracked screen can cost over $300 to fix if you're not on AppleCare Plus. A back glass replacement? Same story. This is why cases and screen protectors aren't just accessories, they're necessities. Think of them as insurance for your investment. Here's a quick real-world example. I had a buddy who bought the latest iPhone, refused to put a case on because he wanted to feel the premium design. 2 weeks later, it slipped out of his pocket onto concrete. Let's just say, the phone's new design wasn't the only thing he got to experience. So ask yourself, are you ready to commit to protecting your phone with extra purchases, or do you prefer to take the risk and enjoy the naked design? 7. Accessories and hidden costs. Speaking of extra purchases, let's talk about the hidden costs. When you buy a new iPhone today, you don't get a charger in the box, just the cable. Need a fast charger? That's an extra $20 to $30. Want AirPods to complete the Apple ecosystem? Another $150 minimum. And let's not even get started on MagSafe accessories, cases, or the AppleCare Plus subscription. These add up quickly. Suddenly, that $1,100 iPhone turns into a $1,400 investment. So the smart move is this: before buying, budget not just for the phone, but for the whole experience. Because Apple knows how to get you into their ecosystem, and once you're in, it's hard to leave. 8. The Apple ecosystem, comfort or trap? Alright, we can't talk about iPhones without mentioning the Apple ecosystem. This is where Apple really hooks people. Once you've got an iPhone, suddenly an Apple Watch makes sense. Then AirPods. Maybe an iPad. Before you know it, you're deep in what I like to call the Apple web. Now, the ecosystem is amazing. Handoff lets you start an email on your iPhone and finish it on your Mac. AirDrop makes sharing photos between devices ridiculously easy. And let's not forget FaceTime and iMessage, which honestly feel like exclusive clubs if your friends all use iPhones. But here's the flip side: once you're locked in, it's hard to leave. Want to switch to Android later? Boom, you lose iMessage. You lose seamless AirDrop. Your AirPods still work, but not with all the cool features. It feels like leaving a luxury apartment to move back into a regular one. So here's the big question: are you buying the iPhone because it's the best phone for you, or because you're already tied to the ecosystem and don't want to leave? That's something worth thinking about before pulling the trigger. 9. Trade-in value and long-term cost. One area where iPhones beat most competitors is trade-in value. If you buy an iPhone today, even 3 years later, you can still resell it for a good price. Try that with some Android brands, you'll be lucky to get half. For example, an iPhone 12 Pro from 2020 still sells for around $300–400 in good condition in 2025. Meanwhile, many Android phones from the same year are struggling to hit $150. That resale value helps cushion the blow of the high upfront cost. So think of it this way: when you buy an iPhone, you're not just spending, you're investing in a device that holds value. But it only works if you keep your phone in good condition. Cracked screen, water damage, or no original parts. That trade-in price drops fast. Which leads me to ask, would you rather trade in every couple of years to get the latest iPhone, or hold onto your device until it literally can't keep up anymore? Let me know what side you're on. 10. Buy now or wait. And finally, the million-dollar question. Should you buy now or wait for the next iPhone? Apple has a predictable release cycle. Every September, there's a new model. So if you're shopping in July or August, it might be smarter to wait. On the other hand, if you need a phone right now, like your old one is dying, waiting 3 months could feel like forever. Also, when new iPhones launch, older models drop in price. That means buying an iPhone 14 or 15 right after the 16 comes out could actually save you hundreds while still giving you a great phone. So the decision really depends on you. Do you want the newest and flashiest model at full price? Or are you okay being one step behind, but saving big? Personally, I think unless you really want the latest camera features or design, waiting until after the new launch to grab a discounted model is the smartest move. 11th final thoughts, so let's recap this real quick. Buying a new iPhone isn't just about grabbing the shiny new model, it's about asking the right questions first. Do you really need the upgrade now, or can your current phone last another year? Are you paying for features you'll actually use, or just for the flex? Have you budgeted for the hidden costs, storage, accessories, Apple Care? And maybe the biggest one, are you okay stepping deeper into the Apple ecosystem, or do you want to keep your options open? At the end of the day, the best iPhone is not always the newest one, it's the one that fits your lifestyle, your budget, and your long-term plans. Think about it, some people buy the Pro Max every year and love it, while others stick with an older model and never feel left out. It really comes down to what you value most, status, features, or savings. And that's where I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, if you had the chance to upgrade today, would you go for the newest iPhone, or would you grab an older one at a discount? I'm genuinely curious to see how divided you guys are on this one. And that's it for today's breakdown, friends. Those are the key things you really need to know before buying a new iPhone. Hopefully, this helps you make a smarter decision and avoid that feeling of regret a few months later when Apple drops another model. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit that like button so more people can find it, and subscribe to Tap and Trends if you haven't already, because we've got plenty more deep dives like this coming your way. Oh, and don't forget to share this with a friend who's debating whether to upgrade right now. You might just save them a couple $100. And listen, we've only scratched the surface. In another video, I'll dive into whether buying an iPhone directly from Apple is really the best move, or if you're better off going through carriers and trade-in deals. Trust me, you'll want to see that one. So stick around, because this conversation is far from over.